Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I think we're going to start calling this segment Calling in the Lights and Shining Them on the World. This is going to be a weekly segment that I do where I'm going to introduce the world to the star seeds, the light workers, and the earth angels in order to show you who we are and help you understand who you are as well. If I'm ever going to be able to teach you how to tap into your inner powers and your inner tools, you have to first see yourself through new eyes and a new perspective. Here to help me do that today is a beautiful soul, an earth angel, much like myself, Alison Caltrider. I said that right, yes? Caltrider?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's an aspiring artist and not only fabulously gifted in the arts, but also gifted in the aspects of the metaphysical of our reality. Alison, welcome to the show, and thank you very much for being brave enough to step out and tell your truth to the world. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you. Yeah.
It's a pleasure to talk with you. I am so excited about our segment today. So we'll just start out gentle. Let's just start with when you were let's start with when you were a child. Kind of walk people through what childhood was like for you. Start with when you were little.
I have a lot of memory that goes pretty far back, to about the age of 2, I guess. I can remember standing in my crib. I can remember being in this little body and just having this extreme sense of awareness beyond just being a little baby. I had moments where I could see things, I'd know things, just strange. It wasn't strange to me because it was very normal, but I grew up in a normal family, a brother and mom and dad and all that, but it just seemed like I was extremely aware. And I used to tell my mother that I didn't like this body that I was in. It was very confining. And I would get edgy, like I just didn't like being confined. And they actually kind of laughed and called me Butterfly when I was a kid because I just flitted around. I just wanted to be free. Whatever that meant, I wanted to be free. I wanted to be barefoot, running in the woods, whatever. But I was very in tune with everything, nature. So that's kind of the early start. And then there were some serious traumas that happened before the age of 12 that really started to mold me and kind of set me on course but off course at the same time. I don't even know how to explain that, but
right.
You know.
Tell us about your dreams or your experiences
I would have these
at night.
Well, at night, my room was like Grand Central Station. I had to have a nightlight because literally I would lay in bed and my room was filled with people. And I would just look around and they were like from all different centuries. And they were walking through. And there was even this giant thing that showed up. Like his head was at the ceiling. And I just constantly saw things like that. And it's like they were some of them were trying to get my attention and some of them were just there. And I'm not sure what I was tuning into, but I was just surrounded all the time. And then I would always see this bright light like above me. If I looked straight ahead, it was just this bright light. But then when I look up, I didn't see where it was coming from. And then I would see these little lights of orbs floating around my room. And they were just beautiful. They would stay there for a minute and then they would just go away.
Right.
The scariest part was I would lay in bed at night and these faces would come up to me, and they were really scary. They were like half animal, half human. They would have hands with claws, but sort of human, but sort of animal. And when they got so close to me, they would just like disintegrate into pieces, just like they exploded. And one after the other would come up and just explode. And I would tell my mother about this. I was being protected, that they couldn't get to me because my light was bright and it was almost like moths to a flame. Luckily, I had a mother that understood what was going on.
Yes.
Thank God, because if I didn't, I don't know what I would have done.
Yes, because a lot of us didn't have that blessing. That's for sure. Yeah. A lot of star seeds,
Right.
earth angels don't have understanding parents. Real quick, could I just ask you, what was your thoughts or your feelings that were going through you as you were seeing those demonic type things coming at you at night? Were you thinking go away? Were you thinking anything that, you know, would lead you to believe that maybe you were?
Almost like,
Go ahead.
it's almost like they were as curious about me as, oh, pardon me, they were as curious about me as I was about them. I had no fear because I think I knew they couldn't get to me.
Yeah.
But they would disintegrate. I mean, literally disintegrate. And I've been told that you have to be different to be able to disintegrate demons, which I just found out. That's been a mystery to me my whole life. And I just found that out about a month ago, why.
Yeah.
And when I found out why, I was in a little bit of denial because I sure as hell am not perfect. And I don't feel like I'm from any kind of angelic realm at all. You know, I've pretty much had a
but tell them
lot of
why.
hell in my life.
Tell them what you learned.
That I came from the angelic realm. And then I came in. See, as a child, I knew I had this sense that I was here for something extremely special. And of course, as I got older, I'm like, okay, where's the special coming? Because I'm not feeling it. No special here. And, you know, I'm 62 now. And I was like, when is the special coming? Because I don't feel the special. And now that the times that we're in, I understand it.
That's right.
And I understand it. And it's taken a long time and a hard road.
Yeah.
Of going through a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely all are faced with some really shitty, hard challenges, aren't we? We all have a bad story to tell.
I mean, just the losses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Losses. And when I was 11, my mother's sister, my aunt, was killed. She was hit by a truck at her mailbox and just killed instantly. And she was my world, you know.
Yeah.
She was a girly girl, you know. She'd wear hair and makeup, and I'd go stay with her in the summer, and you know, we'd go shopping. And I was only 6 or 7 years old, but I just adored her. And to have her wiped out of my life was just horrible. But I remember after that, I got really sick, and I remember laying there in the bed, and I could see through her, but she came and sat down on the bed with me and put her arms around me. So she was with me.
Yeah.
You know, just stuff like that. I have so many things that have happened. It's hard to even remember them all.
Yeah. You've been so used to seeing people in the spiritual dimensions for so long that it's just like second nature to you, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It is. But by the time I got a little bit older, you know, and when life takes over and you have to deal with this world, you kind of block that stuff out. But until I was into my teens, probably 18 years old, I was pretty damn open. I mean, it was an everyday occurrence, something.
Yeah.
But it seemed like the more traumas I went through, you know, the more disconnected I got from that part of myself. And I went in and out of that over the years.
Yeah. And I want to just point out to everyone, this is a perfect time to say this. That is the dark forces that work against us. Not just because you're an earth angel or a light worker or a star seed. All beings on this planet are faced with that very same challenge. If you are trying to wake up, if you are open to the spiritual world, if you're connected to that and to spirit, you are guaranteed going to be attacked in so many different ways to try to keep you disconnected. Like you just said, you went in and out of it. By the time you turned 18, you were trying to block that out and try to be normal. And that's a double-edged sword, really, isn't it? Because on the one hand, we really just want to be normal. And then on the other hand, there's all this shit that comes at us that we don't have time to be our actual normal anymore, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I tried like hell to be normal, and I just realized I'm never going to be normal, whatever normal is.
Yeah.
But I'm actually, I like the way I am. I've finally learned to accept it and realize it's not anything bad. And, being called weird as a kid, I always was kind of the outsider. I was on the playground. I was always, did you ever sit in the playground? I was from the East Coast, so we had a lot of clover in our grass, and we would make those little clover chains.
Yeah.
And
like
I can remember making these little
and the
clover chains
little ones you
just in
wear on
my
your
own little
hair.
world.
Yep.
Yep. And we had a lot of bees back then, so there
Yep.
were a lot of bees, but I remember that, and I was just that kind of kid. I was just, if I was connected to the ground, I had my feet on the ground, I
Yeah.
was better. I felt more
Yeah.
comfortable, but
Yeah.
when in trouble, kind of, I think the earth rejuvenates us, especially
It does.
ones like us. It's
Mm-hmm.
Mother Earth is a great healer, and she's a great
Yes.
nurturer, and she embraces us and helps us.
Yes, absolutely. All of us. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about when you became a young adult. What was life like for you? Talk about some of the struggles and you don't have to be specific with them, just kind of walk people through how difficult your life was.
Well, my family was very dysfunctional, and there was a lot of stuff going on between my parents, and I got married at 21 to a guy that wasn't ready to be married. And in the meantime, my mother had been diagnosed with cancer, and so I was dealing with that. And he was in the military, and we moved away for a year, and she was getting really bad. And I mean, for a 21-year-old girl, it was just a lot of burden, trying to be a wife, trying to be away from home the first time. And then, my mother, who I absolutely adored, going through what she was. I came back, and at 25, she passed away, and I went through a divorce, and it was just a really reckless time. And I just, for the next 3 years, I don't know, I just completely, I was a mess.
Yeah.
I was just like clueless about anything. But I always knew there was some kind of spiritual connect there that I never forgot about. But it was very trying. I mean, I felt like by the time I was that age, I lost just about everybody that I cared about.
Right.
I've had a lot of losses at a very young age, and it was tough.
Right. So what kept you
A
going?
long. I think because I'm creative. At that time, I was singing. It was my music. Um, and then I started my own business, my own company. I was a civil drafter, so I did that. But just a lot of and I'm a Cancer, and I cry a lot anyway, so just a lot of heartache, a lot of loss, a lot of turmoil,
Right.
to say the least.
But as a Cancerian, you learn to balance them emotions, don't you? Like we're forced to, as Cancerians, it's really in our face. We have to learn to try to control our emotions and be okay with being sensitive and crying over things.
Yeah, I think I've gotten better at it, but I'm sure no professional at handling my emotions. I still cry.
Right?
You know, I think about things and I start to cry and everybody's looking at me like, what the heck's wrong with you, Allison? I'm like, just leave me alone. I have a moment.
Right.
I have my moments,
Right. Yeah.
but
But you feel a lot deeper for people too. So, that crying, that's not such a bad thing because that's compassion for you, for others, for everything going on in the world. So, that's not a bad thing. It's good to be compassionate. Um, if you don't mind, tell them the story about you seeing the homeless people.
well, I moved up to the Phoenix area a couple months ago because I went through yet another divorce. And there's a lot of homeless people up here. And I know a lot of people just, see them as annoying and I've gone through some times in my life where I said I was just one choice from being under a bridge. And I look at these people and I just kind of silently, say a prayer for them and, send them love and light and pray that they're fragmented souls that they find themselves, that they heal from whatever. Because I think a lot of them are they're trauma based, or mental illnesses or whatever.
But you're picking
I
up on
think
that, aren't
we're
you?
not. I am, and it's gosh, and the things that are attached to these people because of their drugs and drug use, and there's some bad stuff attached to them, and unless you got somebody there to just give them light, send them love, I don't know what the answer is, but it's definitely not going to hurt them to love them.
Right. Exactly. It's not. And I want
People
you
want to
to,
spew hate out at them because
right. Go ahead.
people want to spew hate out at people like that because I think when people see that, they're looking at a part of themselves that maybe frightens them, or maybe they look at that and think in subconsciously or consciously, whatever, that they're terrified of ever ending up like that because we're all one bad choice from something.
Right.
And life is
And,
all about choices.
and guilt too. I think part of the anger that they portray to people like that is guilt for not doing something because on a soul level, they know that it's wrong, that they stand there and do nothing. And I think that it masks their guilt that they have, their inner guilt. But I want you to explain to the audience what you mean by the attachments on the homeless people that you're picking up on.
When people get involved in drugs and, things that alter their mood, their existence, they basically open themselves up because when you're intoxicated, you're not all there. And you're opening yourself up to spiritual attack.
That's right.
And a lot of times these things that attach themselves to these people are people that have died from the same thing and they won't move on. They're stuck, they're earthbound, and they want to still experience the drugs or whatever through this person.
Right.
And so it's like these people already are sick themselves, and then they've got something of the spiritual realm that's sick. And
Right.
it's
Yeah,
it's a very scary thing.
that's right. It is. And I want, the reason I wanted you to point that out is so that people can understand that demonic attack and attachment is a very real thing. That's not something that's just
Yes,
in
it is.
movies and storybooks. And B, to back up that thought, in the old days, the old folks would always refer to the alcohols and the liquors as spirits. We let the spirits
Absolutely.
in. When we consume of the spirits, we're allowing them in, we're inviting them in. And I think people need to really start paying attention to those phrases and those words, those terms that our elders used to use, because they used them for very important reasons. They understood. They were more connected to God and nature and all of that. And so they fully understood what that meant when they would use that term, the spirits, drinking of the spirits. So yeah, I love that
And
you're aware of that. Go ahead.
And different drugs, you know, whatever they're on, every drug has its own, basically has its own personality.
Right.
And
Its own
whatever
demon.
drug they're attracted to,
Yeah,
that's what they're attracting to themselves.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, they're attracting that to themselves. And yeah, it's very frightening. And you know, I've walked past them, and you just feel the disconnect. And it just, I just, all I can do is I just say a prayer and surround them in light, and give them a hug in my heart, you know, and just hope that someday, you know, they can heal from whatever they're going through.
Yeah, and be free of it. I know, I'm the same way. I'm so compassionate for every one of them that I see. And they don't even have to be homeless people. I mean, I'm sure you're a lot like I am, where you can pick up on people's energy just walking past them on the street or in a store, and know if they've got attachments, and know if they have illness and things like that. And I just want to reach out to people and help them and heal them and help banish whatever's attached to them and stuff. But the way society is right now, we can't do what we naturally know how to do to help humanity, because they wouldn't accept it. They would look at us like we're the weirdo. Oh. So hopefully,
well, you know, it's a sick society when people embrace the idea that walking past these people and feeling nothing is okay.
good.
But walking past them and feeling empathy, compassion is sick. There's something
Right.
wrong.
Right. Right. I mean, society has us so screwed up with how normal is supposed to be that, I mean, it's ridiculous. And the only way we're going to change it is to change it ourselves. We have to just flip that script and just start honoring who we are and really standing in our full power, and just reach out to people and be compassionate and be the earth angel you were brought here to be, and be brave and be courageous and show them your love, show them your light. And let's change this God-forsaken society one soul at a time.
Well, we're only as healthy as our sickest person.
That's right.
I mean, and we're all connected.
That's right.
We're all connected.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's time that we stand up and we speak our truth, and we reach out to those strangers and we help them, regardless of what anyone else says, regardless of what anyone else thinks. It's time for us to really love our neighbor again.
Well, I was never considered normal. So
none of us.
At this age, I don't really care what anybody thinks of me anymore. You know, I'm tired of hiding away and worrying about, you know, what I'm saying or what I'm not saying, or if I'm saying something right or saying something wrong. I'm just over it.
Yeah, I know.
My ears are ringing right now, so
Your ears ringing?
My ears ringing. Yeah.
That's a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm getting something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to explain that to everyone? So people that don't know what that is?
Well, it can be, everybody's talking about these downloads or whatever. I think it's just, I'm knowing that I'm connecting with my higher source.
Yeah. Your frequencies are changing.
I'm being given the information and the support.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. A lot of times when, and there's different types of ear ringing that you'll experience too, aren't there? Different frequencies.
Yeah, there is. What was that?
Different frequencies, different tones, different patterns.
Yeah. This one was weird because it started in my left ear and it went straight through my head out my other ear. Sometimes it just stays in one side, but this one went straight through.
Yeah.
Blonde, I guess I got straight
No, stop it. No.
I'm joking.
I know. But yeah, that was like a full connect.
I've got so many blonde jokes over the years. I just laugh.
Oh, me too. Me too. I'm always telling people I'm very blonde sometimes. But yeah, that's like a confirmation that we're connecting to our I can't even speak, our higher self, or to spirit, or sometimes it can be a download that we're getting of information. There's this one certain one that I hear that almost reminds me of Morse code. It's kind of a chopped up kind of beeps. And when that one happens, when that one happens, I'll be like, just a minute, because I think the aliens are calling me. And I'll joke and say it's the aliens. I don't know what that one's about, but yeah, sometimes it sounds like almost like Morse code. But yeah, there's different frequencies.
Well, maybe it is.
It could be. I mean, you never know. It could be. But I want people to realize that ear ringing, that matters. That's not tinnitus. That's not, doctors try to explain it away, but if you also research tinnitus, they cannot fix that. They have not found out what causes you to have ringing in your ears, and they don't know how to fix it. And that's because God is doing it. Or your higher self.
Well, I developed tinnitus a few years ago, but it's like a constant like chirping sound.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not the same. This sound that I get when this happens, it's different.
Right.
It's very different.
But I think even what they call tinnitus is actually like your higher self trying to wake you up, trying to connect, trying to almost like, here's how I try to explain to people. Imagine you have an electrical cord that has frays in the wires, okay? So man-made cords, we would have to physically go back in and wire the wires back together and wrap them with some tape or something to secure them. But if it's biological frays of broken wires, then our body is trying to mend them and reconnect them. And I think that's what the tinnitus sounds actually are the frayed wires of your connection trying to plug back in. And like occasionally it's there and then it's broke, and then occasionally it's there and then it's broke, and then occasionally it's there and it's broke again.
That makes sense.
And so if you're really trying to wake up and you're really trying to understand who you are, then you're going to naturally heal that connection even better. And that tinnitus would change to the sounds that we hear all the time, right? Because like you said, you're stepping in and out of that world, and you're literally walking in two worlds at all times with a foot in both worlds. And we spend our whole life trying to learn how to make that balance, aren't we?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of my earlier years, I was more in the other place. I struggled to stay. And if somebody tries to do Reiki on me, I shoot out of it. I mean, I leave my body. I feel myself lifting up, and they have to stop, because any opportunity I get, I'm out of here.
You're out of
you
here.
know?
You're trying to escape.
You know, but I know I got to come back, you know.
She's
Yeah, I
like,
learned
"I
that a
don't
long
need this
time ago. That
contract. I'm
there's
out."
no easy, I'm here to be here. Just a little vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. Just let me take a break.
Yeah.
I
Well, that's
know.
all I ask for.
Yeah, I know. You got your dog there next to you?
But where?
Do you have, is there an animal sitting next to you?
My dog?
Yeah,
On the chair? No.
no. There's not an animal in the room next
I've
to
got a dog, but she's, hold on.
I mean, I just am asking because
She's behind me.
I
She's
thought
behind me
I
on the
sensed your
floor,
dog.
but nobody's in the
I thought I sensed your dog there next to you.
Yeah, she's behind me. I didn't even know she was in here. She snuck in.
Okay. That's funny.
Funny.
Okay, so what advice would you give to people like us that are naturally gifted, that have always been connected to spirit, that don't know how the hell they're dealing with all of this stuff or what to do with it? What advice would you give them with the journey you've been through and the things you've learned? Like, what would be your best advice in this moment that we're in now? No pressure.
There have been times when I was so down and so broken, and I just wanted to lay down and not get up. My advice is never give up.
Right.
If you feel like you're defeated, if you feel like you don't know where to turn, what to do, get back up. You can fall down, but get back up.
Yes.
Keep going. And knowing that there's always something ahead. And if you don't get back up, you'll never be able to experience it. You'll never be able to enjoy the good moments and more learning.
Right.
But like I said, I've been so down and so just like I wanted to give up. But there's always been something inside of me that wouldn't let me do that. So get back up, dust yourself off and keep going. I know it's an old cliche, but it's true.
It is true. It is. And there are, unfortunately, a lot of souls that came to this planet for this awakening that didn't make it because of all of the struggles that we are faced with. They just felt so defeated that they did give up. They did break their contract and just went back, changed their mind. And
I had a best friend.
yeah. I think we actually spoke about that because I have the little semicolon tattoo that is representative of the compassion of people who commit suicide. And it's a form of symbolism to say that we see you, we love you, we understand you, we want to help you, because suicide is often looked at very negatively and with anger and dissent. And we should all be very compassionate toward people who are so sad and so low that they really think that there is no other choice other than taking their life. We should be more compassionate than anything with people like that. And I think
it's the lowest you can ever be. It is. It's absolutely no hope.
Right. And people like you and I, we know that intimately because of our lives and our struggles and our challenges. And I honestly feel like, Alison, it was necessary for us to experience all of these multiple aspects of life, whether it be pain or joy or sorrow, so that we could better and more intimately be the compassionate healers that are going to be needed for this time that we're in now. Don't you agree? It was worth it, wasn't it?
Absolutely. You know, as hard as it was, when I look back on it, I wouldn't change anything.
Right,
As bad as it's been, I
right.
wouldn't change 1 second of it. And
Yeah,
because it got me to where I am now, and I'm able to see more of the whole picture. But I don't know, suicide is something that, when I lost my best friend to it, I've never felt a pain like that. I've lost people from just about every kind of way, but that way is just something totally different.
yeah,
It's totally different.
yeah, because you feel really
Yeah.
helpless that you couldn't save them. Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
I felt horrible that I was 15 minutes away.
Yeah, yeah, I know that feeling all too
And
well.
I walked around like, I don't know, like I was in a daze for 6 months after that. I just was in a total daze, a state of shock, I guess.
Yeah. Just
And
out
she
of
was
curiosity,
stuck. Actually, she came to me.
go ahead. Go ahead.
She was stuck and she came to me. I talk about that dark holding place, and she called out to me, and she said, "Allison, I'm a little lost." And I said, "You're going to be okay." And there were other people I could hear, they were trying to get her over. They were trying to get her, you know, out of there. And between me and them, she finally crossed, and she's okay now. But it was it was so real. It's so real.
Yeah,
It changed me forever.
yeah. Now that's where I was going to ask you a question about how did it change you, and what do you think that you've actually learned from that that you can apply toward benefiting other souls that may be in that same situation, that same struggle.
No matter how bad you think it is, and you think there's nothing ahead, like when you think it's just darkness ahead of you, because that's the mindset that you're in, just remember there always is something over the next little hill or mountain or whatever. There's always light there. There's always tomorrow. There is always something ahead. And if you check out, you're going to miss out on all of it. And it's a sad thing, because it brings so much sadness to so many people. And anybody that loves someone that's done that, they're never right after that.
Yeah,
But never give up, because there's always, you know, if I had accomplished what I tried, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I wouldn't be sitting here right now being able to share any of my story or my strength, hopes, wishes, dreams, anything. I would be gone. And that's so tragic. And there's how many hundreds of thousands of people never get their story heard because they gave up.
that's right. And that actually is a perfect place for me to segue this into addressing the audience, because I am going to be talking to more star seeds, more light workers, more earth angels. If you have felt anything in this segment that relates to you, that resonates with you, that seems similar to your life's journey, I want you to reach out to me, because I want to give you a platform to speak, not just to tell your story to other people, but speaking about it and telling it actually empowers you. It actually heals you. So please, I am begging you, reach out to me. Let us help you heal, and let us help you to hone your skills so that we can heal the world together. Because that's exactly what all of this is about. Healing the world and healing each other, and showing the world that we're not all that different just because we may have a different label. And I hate
Exactly.
labels anyway.
Me too.
Yeah, I had a real struggle with all of this because it's necessary to use labels and words to define us from other people in order for people to understand themselves, even not just us. And it was a real inner struggle for me to actually use these words to define us, because I do not want anyone ever to feel less than. I do not ever want someone else to feel more important than, because we are all in this together. We are all equals. It doesn't matter what our labels are. The purpose and the mission is the same for everyone. We want peace. We want love. We want freedom. We want our God-given rights to be on this planet and truly live in joy and prosperousness, not this bullshit hell that they've put us in. Let me correct that they've tricked us into creating, because we are the creators. The demons that are after us, that trick us, have no creative ability. That's why they need us. Take back your power, people. Take back your power, and we take back the world together the right way, where we don't walk down a street and ignore the homeless, and we don't walk past that mother with the children that don't have the money for their food, or don't have a car to get to the store, or whatever the situation is. We don't ignore those things anymore, because we shouldn't be ignoring any of it. We need to go back to the old ways. We need to go back to the way when someone's house burned down or something tragic happened and someone was sick, the neighbors got together and they helped each other rebuild the home.
Yep.
Or take care of the children, or cook the meals and bring them to the family. Whatever it is that needs to be done, you do it, because every soul matters. And I'm gonna let you talk for a minute so I don't cry.
And I think one thing I do want to say is, most of my life I've had this part of me inside, and I don't know if it's me or whether it's something that's trying to derail me from what I need to do, but this self-deprecating, you're not worth anything.
Yeah.
I went through this 11 years ago when I suffered some serious addiction and stuff, and it was like this part of me was like, you're not worth it. You don't deserve to be around. You're not lovable. Nobody's going to care about you. When you start hearing that stuff in your head, just say, no, I don't believe that. I know if
Right.
this creator had enough of love to create me, to give me this soul, this independence, this life, this mind, this heart.
Yeah.
I must be pretty damn valuable in the universe.
Right. That's
and
right.
I'm not going to feed into all this crap and bullshit that I'm this horrible thing that was, and when I was born, I was horrible. I wasn't worthy. All that bullshit that you're not worthy.
Right.
It's destroyed people.
Yes.
And don't feed into it. We're all a divine spark of the creator.
Yes.
We are, without it, it is nothing. We are, this creator, we're like the fingers that it goes out into the universe and experiences itself.
Right.
We're a very integral part.
Yeah.
It
Each
can't
and
be
every
without
one.
us. We can't be without it.
That's right. That's right. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because it really does start with your own thoughts of yourself and self-love and knowing your self-worth. And that's why that class was so important to me, and nobody was interested in it. And that just blows my mind that there were so few people interested in taking that course. It didn't even matter that it was going to be free. And then somebody said, well, put a price tag on it. Maybe they'll see a worth in it and a value of it. So I put a price tag on it, and no, nobody still wanted to join it. And it just blows my mind. because we cannot change anything in this world unless we know our own truth, our own worth, and we truly love ourselves. We have to come back to realizing who we are. And each and every one of us are special and unique. And if you weren't, God wouldn't have gave you free will. If you weren't important, you wouldn't have that choice. You would be like the demons that don't have the creativity. They don't have the free will. We are very, very special, and we all have that spark of God within us. And yes, Alison, you're right. Each one of us is a piece of God experiencing reality, experiencing what he created. And we are supposed to be here enjoying all this beauty that he created in honor of that. That's the point. So we got to get rid of the demons. We got to get the devil out of the details. And we got to say, fuck these societal rules. We're taking back our world.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's
Those thoughts come into your head, just go away. Be in
right.
charge. You know, if a stranger walked into your house, what would you do? You would tell him to get the hell out.
That's right.
Well, I would.
Yes. Take back your authority.
Somebody creeps into your head. The dark side creeps into your head. But those thoughts say, get the fuck out.
That's right. Because we have the right and the power to command that authority. Absolutely. With demons, 100%. You don't have to have a label like a starseed or a light worker or an earth angel to command your authority. That's a God-given right to every single soul on this planet, regardless of your label. You have the right to command the authority and take control and tell the demons and tell the ghosts and tell everything, reptilians, vampires, the whole lot of them. You have the authority. Take control. Don't live in fear. Take back your power. Because they don't have any power unless you give it to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that's a good place to end this segment on that good, powerful, strong note. Take back your power.
Take it back.
That's right. Be bold, be brave, be strong. Take it back.
Go away, you bad, nasty little thoughts.
Yeah, that's right. And in the meantime, until you all learn how to
Replace them with
control.
good things.
Yes, absolutely. Positive thoughts. Thoughts matter. And until you all figure out how to do that for yourself, people like me and Alison are here to hold the light for you. We are your spiritual warriors, and we are happy to do our job. Alison, thank you so much for doing this show with me today. I cannot wait until we do this again next week.
This is great. Thanks for asking me.
It was my pleasure. You are a beautiful, beautiful soul. And I am positive that everybody sees your light just beaming out of you the way that I do. I am positive. Because it just radiates out of you.
Thank you. That's what it's all about. There's plenty of light to go around.
That's right. That's right.
Endless amounts.
Yes.
It never ends.
It doesn't. It's always there. There's always reserves. That's right. All right, guys. We love you much. Can't wait to see you again. Thanks for tuning in.